I don't usually dabble with small home decor items, however, I do make the exception at Christmas. So let's make a Christmassy tray using this and this. It does feel slightly weird saying the C word on a lovely sunshiny day in October, but here we are, and it is the perfect time to start thinking about homemade or handmade gifts. So this would be the perfect Christmassy themed gift, or you could keep it for yourself if you wanted to and use it as a little serving tray, or you could pop tea lights on it. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it in the end. And also, this technique is exactly the same technique that I would apply if I was using this with furniture. So even if you aren't going to make something like this, you can still use the same technique to apply it onto a piece of furniture, like a drawer front or the top of a piece of furniture. It's just that I'm going to be using it on a small item like this. As you can see, this is brand spanking new. However, I have only bought this brand new because I haven't managed to find anything suitable for what I wanted to do. And trust me, I've been looking for a few weeks in my second-hand shops and charity shops. It's from a shop called Jisk, which is in the UK. I think it's Jisk or JYSK, I don't really know. It was very inexpensive, and this kind of thing is perfect for picking up if you did want to personalise it or make it Christmassy, because let's face it, Christmas stuff is very, very expensive, but this is a very inexpensive way of doing it. It's also really fun to do in the holidays or with kids, so you can make something completely bespoke and have fun doing it at the same time. Because this is brand new, it's untreated wood, I don't need to clean it. However, if you're buying something that's second hand, I would recommend cleaning it with Dixie Belle's White Lightning before you do the next step. So I can go straight in with my paint. I'm using the colour Endless Shore from Dixie Belle Silk Mineral Paint. It's a nice kind of warm creamy colour, and it's going to make the perfect background for my decoupage paper. The little brush that I'm using to apply this is from a set of artist brushes from Dixie Belle. They come in a pack of, I think, 4 or 5 brushes. They're all different sizes and they are perfect for smaller crafting items like this. So I just did one coat of this Endless Shore because, as you can see, it's covering really well, and then I left it to dry. Once the paint's completely dry, you can give it a quick sand if you wanted to, make it super smooth. I'm just using a Dixie Belle sanding sponge, which is equivalent to a 220 grit. And then I am going to stick my decoupage paper down. So the product that I'm going to use to stick it down is Clear Coat in Satin. This is the pack of decoupage papers that I'm going to use. As you can see, there's 3 different sheets with 3 different designs, so they are perfect for Christmas crafting. And I'm just going to put a really thin layer of satin clear coat down on the top of my dried paint. Before that has a chance to dry, I'm then going to get my paper and lower it down. And this is rice paper, so it is quite forgiving, and you can be quite rough with it, not too rough, but you can be rougher with it than, say, a paper napkin, for example. It can take a little bit of kind of repositioning if you need it to, and then I just usually press it down with my finger to make sure it's nice and flat to the surface. That's had a chance to dry. Now what you could do is just trim the excess away. I'd usually do that with sandpaper and just sand it away. However, what I like to do first is go over the top of it with clear coat. So I've used clear coat to stick it down, and I'm using clear coat to protect it. I want this to have quite a nice sheen, so I'm going to use satin, which is the one that I used for sticking it down. And like I say, some people just trim this straight away and then seal it. I like to add a coat of clear coat first, because that way, if you scuff the paper accidentally with sandpaper, and I've done it, it means that it's got a layer of protection on it if you clear coat first. You can do as many coats as you want. I normally just do 1 or 2, and that just offers a little bit of protection when you are sanding and trimming away the corners to stop it getting damaged. Again, just a nice thin even layer of the satin clear coat, and if you didn't want a satin finish, you can use any of the other clear coats in the Dixie Belle range to top coat your decoupage to offer durability. They do a matte version and they do a gloss version, so it's completely up to you which one you use. And then once that had completely dried, I then sanded away the edges with the sanding sponge that I'd already used, and that's going to give me a nice clean crisp edge. So, eagle-eyed viewers may have spotted a little bit of bleed through. Can you see here we've got a little bit of like a yellowy tinge? So that's when tannins in the wood leach through into your finish and discolour the finish. It could turn yellow, it could turn orange, could turn even pinky, and it's more visible on pale colours, but you can also get it on darker colours as well. But we're going to embrace it because that's how I roll. I'm not taking this off and sanding it down again. Probably what I should have done is known that this was raw wood. This is also a wood that is quite common for bleed through, so I should have known better and used Bond Emboss, because Bond Emboss is not only an adhesion primer, it also block stains, which is exactly what we need to do here. But we're going to embrace it. We're going to embrace it. We're going to make it rustic. But first, I'm going to put another coat of clear coat on after I've just sanded that off. And that's probably what's done it. So if your project looks fine up until the point that you have applied your water-based top coat and then it's turned colour, that is not your water-based top coat doing that. That is bleed through. For some reason, don't ask me the technical reason why, I don't know. But for some reason, water-based top coats emphasise or pull through bleed through. So if I'd have waxed that, probably would have been fine. But obviously I didn't, because I needed to protect it a little bit more with a clear coat. So we're going to roll with it. It might get worse, but we're going to embrace it, because that's, like I say, how I roll. When I am decoupaging, I do like to give several coats of clear coat over the top. Obviously, it is paper at the end of the day, so you do want to make sure that it's nice and durable. So I went in with a second coat of satin clear coat, and then once that was dry, I applied a coat of Gator hide, which is Dixie Belle's most durable top coat, and left that to dry. The product that's going to save us a little bit with the bleed through is Best Dang Wax in brown. Again, once the top coat was completely dry, I just used a natural bristle brush and worked that in to the background. That's just going to make the light background slightly darker and disguise the bleed through a little bit, but you can still see it on the final pictures. If you are going to be doing this on a tray of your own, just use Dixie Belle's Bond Emboss and that should stop the problem that I have had. Make sure you always buff your wax out. Here's a couple of pictures of the final look. I did it in a little Christmassy setting with some mince pies and a cup of tea. Well, if I wasn't feeling festive before the video, I'm definitely feeling festive now with my little Christmassy corner that I've created to show off the tray. I am definitely going to be searching around for other pieces that I can put a Christmassy spin on with the Dixie Belle products that have been released. So keep a lookout for them. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I will catch you next time. Bye!